All right. So we are doing our enhancements for 7.5 data visualization with colors. Okay? So basically it says come up with a 3 color shades to show the differences in one of the data columns. For example, here, states that have less than 10 deaths rate, now remember that's 10 deaths per 10,000 people, will be light blue or medium blue between 10 and 20, and then dark blue for greater than 20. To create this color scheme, we're going to add an if block and use blue to make it a 3-way choice. If else, and then, or if, else if, and then else block to go through there. Now it says on here, you also need to save the data first in a local variable and check that the data is not empty to avoid any text errors. So the first thing that we need to do here is everybody on this spot of the code where we initialized our state features and state data. I'm going to make a new local variable. And I don't remember what my data set was. So I'm going to go and actually download it real quick. So if we come back over here, here's my state data CDC download to my computer. Once it's there, I'm going to open it up in Excel. And from Excel, it's going to look and see, and we'll pick a good rate piece to look at. So here's the data population. I did rate of insurance, and if we just skim down the rate of non-insured people, it seems to range between, single digits. 11, 12 seems to be the top, and I'm seeing 16, and I'm seeing 20 is the highest. So this will work. So I'll do my range to like below 8%, between 9 and 15%, and then above 15% will be my 3 ranges. And remember, because I'm doing the firearm death or the non-insured rate, this is going to be data set 3, column 3 from the state data. Because 1 is the name of the state, 2 is the population, 3 is the non-insured rate. So, back over here, and I have that non-insured rate there. We initialize this. This is going to be the, let's see, non-insured rate. And I'm going to select an item from the list, but it's got to be the actual state data list. And the index that I want to get is number 3, because it's the 3rd item on the list. Okay? So now a list is being built called the non-insured rate, and it's just going to consist of every single item of column 3 for each state as it goes through. Because remember, this bigger loop is doing this once for each state and once for each territory. However, on the data set, there are some areas that don't have it. DC doesn't have information for insured rate. Puerto Rico doesn't have rate for insured rate, doesn't have information for insured rate. So if it goes through a loop and I try and set this data to item 3 and there's nothing there, it'll set the variable to be an empty variable. So the first thing that I have to do is I have to do a check towards the end of this. So we'll do the colors in a second. The check is going to be weird. It's not something we've done before. If not, text is empty. And then we're going to go and pull this non-insured rate variable. So as long as this non-insured rate variable is not empty, and that's how we say is not empty. So there is not an is not empty block. There is an is empty block, but we're looking for the opposite of is empty. Then this is where we're going to have our if, else statement. So if, else if, and then just else. So that's what we're dealing with. And so now we're comparing the non-insured rate numbers to a set of numbers. So what did I say? I said less than 7%. We'll see if that gives us a good data spread. This is the color part, yes. So if the non-insured rate is less than 7, we're going to go, I'm pretty sure, for any polygon. So any component, any polygon, and we're going to go, is it set color? It's, say it again. Fill color. Thank you. Set polygon component. And then the component we're still working on is still this state feature. So that's the component we're looking at, is this current one right here. And then we'll pick a color. They went with blue. So I'm going to go to colors. Now, we don't have a lot of choices here, but as you pull the blue color out, you get a lot more options once it actually snaps in.